So the tutorial is about mzdoc, which is okay, also that. A really nice docking software, and actually it allows also to compare a lot of scoring functions. We have seen that there are classical docking scoring functions and A-based, and in mzdoc we have the opportunity to easily prepare and make our docking calculations. As you can see, the guy is quite intuitive, and also we have the possibility to compare several scoring functions. And with the last one, which is very similar to Nina, so it is like A-based. So let's introduce a little bit mzdoc before starting the tutorial. So first of all, if you want to use mzdoc, I kindly suggest you to read this paper. It was released 2 years ago, and so these are the guy that developed this this really nice software. So I really suggest to read the paper. So, but let's meet now what we are talking about. mzdoc is a free and friendly guide-based platform to perform docking calculations. It is obviously free, and you can decide to download and just use it. Unfortunately, there are only versions from Windows operating system and for Ubuntu. So far, there is not a version from Mac. What are the main features of mzdoc? Is it enables also the InduSpeed, so we can choose which kind of docking we want to make, if rigid docking or induced feed docking. It returns fast, reliable, and easy to interpret the docking results. So why? Because if you look at the interface of mzdoc, we can see that it is incorporated with PyMol, which is one of the best graphical software, I think. So the results given by mzdoc can be analyzed directly on PyMol. And it includes packages like Smina, as I told you, PyMol, OpenBubble, Plip, and RDKit. So each of these packages do something. Smina is a fork of AutoDocVina. It is the main algorithm on which mzdoc is based on. PyMol, as said, is one of the best graphical analysis tools. OpenBubble is a software that mzdoc used to prepare the ligand. So we will see that there are a few steps, a few preparation steps of our docking. So when we prepare our ligand, OpenBubble will work for us. Plip instead is a graphical tool. Actually, it is a website, a free website, so you can upload every docking, every results you have on this website and analyze the main interaction. And it's also implemented in mzdoc. And finally, RDKit molecule. RDKit software that it is used to convert the format file. You will see that mzdoc can read SMILE format file, SDF, PDB, and it can convert also in PDBQT. That is the main format file used by MZDoc. Concern the docking, MZDoc has 7 scoring functions. So we can decide to make a separate scoring function separately, or we can make a direct comparison of our results. So let's see the guide and the pipeline, so how it works. As we can see, MZDoc, it is consisted in 5 hierarchical steps. The first step is preparing the ligands. The second step is preparing the protein. Configure the binding site is the third step. And then finally, we have the step to run our docking. And finally, to analyze our interaction, our results. So let's start with preparing the ligand. When we click here in the new, we refresh the session. So the first thing is to click in new button, and then we can start a new session. The first is to prepare the ligand. So as you can click here, you will see that that is an open session of to select our ligands. So we can go here, and this pop-up window will open. As we can see here, we will have several possibilities to upload our ligand. We can write directly the SMILE. We can decide to draw our molecule, or upload the mol2 file, SDF, PDB, or mol file. The first thing is that once we have uploaded the file, we of course we protonate the ligand according to the pH we want, so we can choose the protonation state of the ligand. But of course, another step of preparation is the minimization. MZDoc can perform also just little minimization step. If we click here, we will have the opportunity to use several force field, GAF, MMFF, and other force field, OPLS and other force field. And it performs the minimization with the steepest descent algorithm until the convergence. Okay, so it is a good thing, I think. Then after the minimization, we can see that it automatically converts our file in a PDB-QT format. So preparing the protein. Once we have finished to prepare our ligand, the green pass means that we can skip to the other step. So we can prepare the protein, and we can just click to select button, and the pop-up window will open. Okay, so in MZDoc, we will see that we can choose to upload our model, maybe if we have a PDB model, or directly to download from the PDB web server. And in any case, it will prepare the protein in the same time, in the same way. Another thing that it can do while we prepare the protein is the role of the water. So as I told you during the lecture, water plays a very important role in docking. So we have to look carefully at our target if there are some water molecules inside, and we have to choose if we have to retain or we have to delete those water molecules, as you can see here. In our target that we will use for our docking, there are some water molecules near the ligand. So in the binding site, I choose as threshold 3 angstrom distant to the ligand. So we have these water molecules closest to the ligand, and we can choose to delete some of them or to delete all of them. I suggest for this tutorial to delete all of the waters to have more clear results, and of course it depends on your target. Once the protein has been prepared, the MZDoc has also the opportunity to build the Ramachandran plot. Ramachandran plot is a good way to analyze the goodness of your model. If the phi Fc angle of the backbone atoms fit in energetically favorable areas of the Ramachandran plot. So this is a kind of validation of your model. Once we have prepared our protein, even the protein is converted to PDB-QT file. For those who don't know what is a PDB-QT file, let's see here briefly what is a PDB-QT file. The PDB-QT is stands for plus charges and atom type. So with respect to a normal PDB, we will have two main columns, these two ones, and the second column, in which we will have the partial charge of our ligand and the atom type of the ligand. So the first information that we have in a PDB-QT file is concerned to the active torsion of the ligand. This is different also from a normal PDB. For instance, in this case, we have our ligand has all the 5 torsion active. So the ligand this is a PDB-QT for a ligand, okay? So in this case, we are treating the ligand as flexible and the target as rigid. Then we have these rows that concern the atom description of our ligand. So we have the X, Y, Z coordinates, 3D coordinates, occupancy, and the B factor, and as I told you, the charge and the types of the ligand. Then we have information about the torsion definition. For instance, between this atom, there is one single bond between atom 1 and between atom 4, and this is a free torsion, okay? And similarly here, and then at the end of the file, of the PDB-QT file, we will have this row, the torsed off row, that is referred to the number of active torsions. So if if we look at the total torsion of the ligand, we will see that all of them are active, but eventually we can choose maybe to make some torsion inactive and leave other torsion active. It depends on our case. Okay, so even in this case, we have once we have prepared the PDB-QT of our protein, we have now the green path, and then we can configure our binding site. Basically, MZDoc is made to build the grid box by choosing the co-crystallographic ligand. For instance, if we have to work with a PDB-QT file and a co-crystallized side, we can choose to select the co-crystallized ligand and to build the box, the grid box over there. But we can also add to This is the, for instance, the co-crystallized ligand. But we can also decide to build our. There's some problem.
Considering the experience.
Just wondering if you share the screen actually. But
Okay.
you are sharing the screen.
Okay, so I thought it was already done.
Over. Yeah, now we are having screen.
Okay. So, okay, we're talking about the grid box. So once we select to prepare the grid box, this pop-up window will open, and for instance, in this case, we can choose to the grid box on the co-crystallized ligand. But of course, NZDoc have the possibility also to manually build our grid box. For instance, if we don't have the co-crystallized ligand, so we can just click here in manual, and the pop-up window will open with the measure of the box you want to reach, and also the possibility to center the box wherever you want. Of course, NZDoc makes also you to perform flexible docking, so not only to keep the rigid the protein as a region, but also to leave. There is, I think,
Somebody
echo.
Maybe somebody.
To keep the protein flexible, and also it gives to make a blind docking. As I said, if the binding site, experimental binding site, we can choose to perform a blind docking. Okay, so it automatically, without building the grid box, it automatically will consider all the proteins. In this space, we can choose, of course, the width of the grid. Okay, so how we can make it wide would be enough. So once we have defined, let's suppose that we have defined our binding site, our grid box. We have the green pass here. We can skip to the docking procedure. So the docking, run docking button is active, and then we can start with our docking. NZDoc has 6 scoring functions. The first is, you can see from here, we can choose from here which scoring function we want to use. And of course, there are, as I said, there are 6 scoring functions. VINA, which is the classical autodoc VINA scoring function. 84, that is the autodoc score. Vinardo is a newly developed VINA optimized scoring function. Then we have the COS that is fast, that is based on SPINA algorithm. I don't know, maybe it's a microphone.
Tool.
Qualcuno ci ha pilota francese.
La tastiera.
Okay. And this is used for virtual screening. Then we have the SMINA standard scoring function. And finally, the SBAN algorithm, that is the NINA algorithm, which is pre-CNN evaluation. So it's like AE, enhanced scoring. Okay. One nice thing in the MZDoc is I cannot. One main thing in MZDoc is that we have the possibility to compare. Okay. To compare all the scoring function with just one button, it automatically compare all the scoring functions. Okay. And then obviously you can tune the exhaustiveness of our docking. I remember you that exhaustiveness is not the number of pose, but is referred rather to the quality of the non-sampling of the ligand sampling method. So this is the 8 equal to 8, but we can enhance to 16 or 32 or 54. And of course, if you enhance this value, you will get more computational time required. Okay, so it is computationally expensive. And then here we can, of course, decide how many poles of our docking we can choose. The final step is the analysis of our interaction. It is possible because PyMO software is integrated in MZDoc. So once we have our results, we can directly analyze it in PyMO. One good thing of MZDoc is that if you have the co-crystallized ligand in our target, in your target, MZDoc automatically perform the docking of the co-crystallized ligand and of your ligand, okay, of your input ligand. So basically, it performs the redocking automatically. And the first thing that we turned out is the results of the redocking. In our case, we will have the donepezil as co-crystallized ligand. So in this case, we can see that, for instance, making a docking with Vina, we can see that among the 9 poles that we have chosen, the first one is with Vina is below 2 angstrom. So it is automatically passed and it is recognized as a good pose. So from this result, you can just see, okay, this scoring function, there is almost at least one pose that match the crystallographic one. Another analysis can perform the contribution score. As I said, MZDoc performs also the docking automatically. So the first result is not only the Hermes D value, but also the contribution score given in each pose. So by the co-crystallized ligand. So in this case, we have as axis the Hermes D value, as we can see here in the lowest Hermes D pose. We can see the energetic contribution terms, which are reported in this way. The Gauss 1 is referred to short range van der Waals. Gauss 2 is the medium range van der Waals. We have then repulsion. So as I told you morning, also steric repulsion need to be calculated, and as you can see, they negatively contribute to the binding. Okay, we have here positive values instead of negative values. Then we have hydrophobic contribution and hydrogen bond contribution, non-directional. So as you may know, hydrogen bond interaction may occur when some geometric constraints occur, as distance, not far from, let's say, 3.5 angstrom of distance, or some angles, okay. 180 degree is the preferred angle for an hydrogen bond to occur. In MZDoc, only the distance is considered. So it is called not directional because only the distance is considered for the H bond. And then there is also the possibility to see the contribution in terms of numerical stuff of each contribution. So the short, the medium, repulsion, which is of course positive, hydrophobic, and hydrogen bond. In this example, we can see, for instance, that in the first pose, it was with the lowest Hermes D one, we can see that hydrophobic interaction are with the medium range van der Waals dominate the binding, and also, of course, the short van der Waals radius. But in our case, the hydrogen bond is the less contributing interaction. Okay, in this tutorial, we will see a case study concerning the acetylcholinesterase, which is an enzyme belonging to the cholinergic nervous system, and it is responsible of the hydrolysis of acetylcholine. And when we refer to the Alzheimer's disease, there is a deficit of cholinergic neurotransmitter. So increase the level of acetylcholine could be a therapeutic strategy. So for this aim, we need to inhibit the acetylcholinesterase enzyme. And donepezil is actually the first non-covalent inhibitor of acetylcholinesterase, and in fact, it increased the levels of acetylcholine. Here we can see the binding mode of donepezil, which is the green one, and the binding site of acetylcholinesterase. We need to know that for this case study, the binding site of the acetylcholinesterase is made of peripheral anionic site, PAS, which is referred to the substrate entrance. So all the residues that belong to the peripheral anionic site are those responsible in the entrance of acetylcholine inside. On the contrary, we have in the binding site, we have the catalytic active sites, and those residues are responsible for the catalytic activity of acetylcholinesterase. So it was found from the crystallographic pose that donepezil interact both with PAS residues as well as catalytic active site residues. This is important mention because we want to analyze how it binds the enzyme. Here we can see other details about the interaction of donepezil. As we can see, there are the stacking interaction with the aromatic moiety, with this tyrosine and this tryptophan belonging to the PAS site, as well as a pi-pi stacking interaction with this tryptophan residues. And there is also an electrostatic interaction with this aspartate, which is actually not belonging in neither of the side. Here we can see also the important hydrogen bond with these phenylalanine residues that contributes to the stability of the ligand binding. Okay, so let's skip to the tutorial, and which is the aim of the tutorial. The aim of the tutorial, I hope that it works. The aim of the tutorial is to compare the most active ligand, donepezil, for which an inhibition constant has been calculated experimentally equal to 2 or 4 nanomolar, so in low nanomolar range, with respect to a less potent ligand, which is the physostigmine, for which the inhibition constant is relatively high. So let's start to, the aim is to evaluate the ability of the scoring function, not only to predict for a pose, but also to evaluate how the scoring function can predict as well the binding affinity of this ligand. So we expect more unstable binding affinity for physostigmine with respect to donepezil. What do we need? We need, of course, the MZDoc engine. I don't know if those who have Windows on their laptop installed it. And we will use some scoring function, and then we will need some PDB. We will need the donepezil PDB and the physostigmine. If you want to perform by yourself with the tutorial, I can give you the PDB file format. I don't know if there is on the website of the workshop, but anyway, I can, of course, give you, and then Pymol to visualize the results. Okay. So that. Okay, so there is anything.
But this PDB is online.
I don't know if,
No, cioè in generale dico. General.
yes.
Where I can find it?
The PDB is, the PDB code is 7E.
No, the other two. I can find by myself, right? I'm saying.
You can find by yourself, of course. Donepezil is co-crystallized with this PDB.
Okay.
However, I have provided the file to be uploaded on the website, but I think they are not at this point. So I can give you the PDB file, of course.
In theory, on Discord, you can like upload it now. If you have your own laptop now, you can upload them to Discord, for example, to the corresponding.
Discord.
Is there? No?
Yes, I have on my USB pen. So you can use the PDB. So that my pen. In any case, there is the possibility on MZDoc to build to draw the molecule, but we will. Okay, so if some of you need the PDB file, I can share my pen. Okay, so
there is no file. See?
Io ne ho uno file sul computer.
No.
Dai con airdrop direttamente. Tu ce l'hai, Bianca?
if you need, they are here. So you want to try.
Proprio non ho l'allatore. Beh, quindi.
Io ce l'ho.
Ce l'hai?
But you have a virtual machine.
Yeah. Quale cartella? No.
Sì. Maybe you can upload it to Discord.
Yeah, maybe I try.
So because it wouldn't be inefficient if we pass like, oh, I'm not gonna, I'm just watching them, but other people. No, like to Discord, there's like how is it, channels.
I thought that they were uploaded on the.
Yeah.
No, on site.
Okay.
Much of problems today with you. No, but actually, very interesting lecture in the morning. I really like that. I really like that you mentioned like all the stations and throwback.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
folder? What do you want? No.
So, you upload it. Okay. So for anyone who wants to find the PDBs, you can find it on Discord, yeah, in channel of.
So one second, I upload on it.
Okay, 1 second.
Another need the PDB. You want to try it by yourself?
We'll upload it on Discord. Okay. Allora, quindi an organizer.
Vale, no.
Sei capito del file?
No, tu puoi mettere il codice.
Sai che c'è dato il file?
Ho dato il file
Cioè, il file me lo mettiamo semplicemente.
per visualizzare meglio nel caso in cui ci fosse un problema.
Ah,
Per
ok.
visualizzare. Ok, so.
Un general channel I upload. General channel. Sono quattro.
Thank you, Giuseppe.
Are you well?
Interesting.
Beh,
So you can see that, but it's taking, but you can because they would if you suck.
I want to see what it does. I mean, I want to see what it does. Tu sei sì, la prima risposta è il gruppo.
Discord. Ce l'hai Discord?
No,
Forse si deve ricaricare. Wifi.
prima di tutto questo,
Sei chiaro.
poi l'abbiamo installata. Questo prodotto delivery non lo parlo.
Così di tutto.
Okay. So let's start and let's hope that it will work. Okay. Okay. Are you ready or need something? Something was not clear?
okay.
Okay, so start to click the new button and to refresh our session. As you can see here, there is the possibility to like the ligand. As I show you, we can choose force field session. Of course, we can choose to build enantiomers of our ligand, choose the protonation state, draw our molecule, and or upload our file. In our case, we have PDB files, so please select and go stop here. And of course, to dock phytosigmine because donepezil is already coefficient there. So we want phytosigmine.
Is it possible to upload several PDB files?
It is the new version is also implemented with the possibility to make resource cleaning. I think that you should have SDF file for that.
And don't you by accident like delimitation? Maybe this then how many molecules?
Any molecule? I don't know exactly. I suggest to don't use. Maybe start with a few set of molecules and then let's see. Okay, then we've uploaded that prepare. We will leave this protonation state and then prepare. And we have successfully prepared. We had the green pass, so we can skip to the preparation of the protein. Click on the select. As I told you, MZDoc can have the possibility to load by yourself your model if you have your model, or download it from the PDB website. For our tutorial, we can just download from the PDB. So we will from the PDB ID code is 7. Okay. 7. H. Yeah. Okay, once it saved the PDB ID, it automatically creates the Ramachandran plots. The first result we will have are the Ramachandran plots of our protein. We just need to select our directory. I will select this one. Okay.
Yes.
And these are our Ramachandran plot. The model is quite good, as we can see. Now, we have the possibility to extract a chain. Since our enzyme is nomodimer, we can use the A or B or C chain or whatever. So let's extract the chain A in capital letter. Okay, confirm, and we have extracted our chain. For those who everything is okay? Okay. So now we have extracted the chain A. This is the name, the code of our ligand, of the co-crystallized ligand, so it is the donepezil. The step is now how to treat the water. Okay, so let's see if there are some waters around our molecule. Just select. We will have, a distance cutoff here. To check if there are some molecules, and there are some molecules within 2 angstrom. Let's see, 3 angstrom. There are more water molecules. It is a very hydrated binding site. For our issue, for the purpose of this tutorial, we delete our molecules. I think that 3 angstrom cutoff is good enough to have a wide space in the binding site. But I underline that it depends on your target. Please analyze your target. So we will remove and confirm. Mentioned water has been retained, no water we mentioned it, so all of them have been deleted. Okay, this is our enzyme. This is our ligand. Then we can prepare the protein. Okay, this is just a note advice in case we have an homology model, but it is not our case. Okay, now we have to prepare the proteins. The protein preparation includes to add all hydrogens to our PDB, calculate the charge. We can choose between the Coleman charge and the Gastiger charge, as Autodoc do. Okay. For this, the purpose of this tutorial, we will choose the Gastiger. Okay. Coleman charge are more computationally expensive to calculate. So to save time, we will Gastiger. Clean up all the waters of all the proteins. We are choosing to clean up not only those of the binding site, but all the waters in the protein. And here we can choose if we want to delete some cofactors beyond the ligands, for instance, other ions, if we have. I suggest you to do it manually to see if there are some cofactors that maybe you want to retain or something like that. So we choose manual, confirm, we will see that there are no specific cofactors, there are all residues, amino acids. We do not have a particular ions or cofactor within our program, so there is nothing to do in this case, okay? So just confirm. The preparation of the protein is completed. Okay, now we have our project. Everything is okay? Everything is clear? Questions? No. Okay. Let's skip to the third part of the MZDoc and MZDoc, which is the configuration of the binding site. Select this part. As I told you, MZDoc gives you the possibility to choose a co-crystallized ligand in order to build the grid box, or to if you want to build it manually, you can also do it. For instance, if you don't have a co-crystallized ligand, so you can click on manual and just decide the dimension of your grid box if you want to improve, or just put here if you know the coordinates of your binding site, you can put inside. Or you can choose some residues to build. If you want to center the box on specific residue, you can also do. Here we want to, we can click, we should click, want to perform indiscrete docking and choose which residues we want to make flexible. It is not our case. And here this is the possibility to perform a binding. Okay? In our case, we just want to build the grid box by centering on the co-crystallized ligand, which is the donepezil. So just go to the image of the donepezil and confirm. And now we have our binding grid box centered of our ligand. Okay. And okay, just prepare our there is a thing that I have forgot to say. Okay, when we prepare the ligand, and you look at the terminal from the doc, when you prepare the ligand, it performs a minimization with a force field with the steepest descent algorithm. And from the terminal, you can also see the steps, the minimization step that it is going to perform until convergence. Okay, in this case, when we have prepared our ligand, there was 2,500 step to go to converge to the conversion of the molecule. Now, prepare our binding site, and as we can see here, the binding site is defined. So we have all the three green paths. And now we can skip to docking. Of course, we have, okay. Just to look about the exhaustiveness, if we want to increase the value of the exhaustiveness or the number of the poles, if we want to compare all the scoring function. Of course, in this case, we are performing with the default value, the docking, to zip time, and also we are performing with Vina scoring function. It is quite fast, and then we have, if we look at the terminal, we can see that there are with Vina, this is a redocking, okay? The first result of a redock is redocking. Donepezil is docked quite well. 3 poses passed the hermetic dock. And here we can see the energetic contribution. So the first pose, the 4th pose, and the 5th pose. So I think is a quite good analysis. There is also a summary of the reported. And then we have to save our results in a folder. So we can just to create a folder. I hope it's this one. Okay. We can, for instance, Vina SF, Vina scoring function, for instance. Okay. So we want to save all our results in this. Okay, results are saved. And then we can analyze. Let's see on the Vina. Here there are the docking results. As we can see here, there are the MST of the donepezil, and here also we can analyze the energetic contribution of donepezil, and this is the energetic terms of physostigmine. As we can see, there are a lot of difference in the energetic contribution. So there are some contacts that are higher energy in physostigmine with respect to donepezil. So there is a loss of van der Waals interactions, a loss of hydrophobic, and hydrogen bonding interaction are almost the same, but there is also a decrease in the energy contribution of hydrogen bond. So this is one of the results that we can, analysis we can make. We just click on analyze, and then we can choose if we want to analyze the physostigmine binding pose with respect to the standard that it is donepezil, the co-crystallized ligand. Let's see the binding of physostigmine, for instance. These are the 9 poses that we have generated. Let's analyze the first one. They are scored for Vina scoring function. They are ranked for Vina scoring function. So let's try to see the physostigmine, the first pose. And we have here, okay. We can save. Results of physostigmine. Okay, so in MZDoc we have the opportunity to have a 2D ligand interaction plot to see the binding of physostigmine within the target. So the main interaction, if they are hydrophobic or with hydrogen bond. But we can also see I think here there is the analysis of the binding mode with the PLIP. So the PLIP software analyzes the binding of the 3D binding of physostigmine. Of course, we can open also a PyMol session to know. There's no PyMol over there. So let's try. Okay. Open. So the PSA. Okay, so we have here the results. The same clip image with the contacts, main contact of isosigmine. But of course, we can also choose to open the complex PDB, so all the results, and analyze the results with respect to the donated series. So this is instead the docking of donepezil. As you can see, donepezil makes a lot of more contact with respect to physostigmine. So I think that venous scoring function is quite good in predicting the loss in the binding affinity of physostigmine with respect to donepezil. We can choose to perform the same thing with another scoring function. For instance, we can try to use, for instance, autodoc and running the docking, obviously maintaining the same number of exhaustiveness and the same number of bows. Is much okay. Is with another scoring function, so it is normal to have less time in the calculation. We have to save our results. So let's say RD4 scoring function. Right, so let's open and results. Here we have the same thing. So as usual, the redocking of the donepezil, the MSD. Even in this case, we can have 3 pose among the 9 that passed the MSD score. Okay, so even if it is quite strange that the first one, so the first pose that should be ranked is a quite high MSD value. So you have to start to be careful about your results. Okay. I think we can skip to outdoor. We can analyze, of course. We choose to analyze the physostigmine first pose. Okay, there is okay. Okay. In this case, we have the dot, interaction dot. There is a bridge and by interaction with respect to donepezil. Our results. This is the binding mode, the 3D binding mode. I analyzed this with DIP, and this is USA. Okay, the binding mode of physostigmine. And the main interaction that here we can see the salt bridge interaction, pi stacking, the cation pi stacking interaction, hydrophobic and hydrogen bond interaction with physostigmine. We can of course analyze the binding mode of also of donepezil. Okay. Also, we can decide to open in Pymol, to overlap in Pymol both the donepezil binding mode and the physostigmine binding mode. Cannot see here. Should I just score? Report. Even in this case, if we compare the binding score, we can see that there is a very lot of difference between the binding mode predicted for donepezil and the binding mode between predicted for physostigmine. Even in this case, we have a really high difference in the binding affinity. So it is what we want to expect. Okay, so we can decide to use with the same modality other scoring function. I will suggest to use this MINA standard, Binardo, and maybe we can use the MINA scoring function. I think we have still a bit time. Yes, run docking. Okay. There is a completely different behavior. In this case, short-term van der Waals interaction are the most favorite contribution in donepezil with respect to the long-range van der Waals. So there is a very different weight in the contribution. Also, the repulsive force are higher with respect to the other two binding score that we have seen. Even in this case, we have a good prediction in the redocking phase. We can save our results in a folder. Function. Okay. Here, just from the terminal, we can see that the maximum binding affinity calculated for donepezil is 7.5, and for physostigmine is 4.3. So it is quite good in discriminating active and less potent ligand. So let's go to analyze. I want to analyze the first pose. And we have here, okay, our folder. Okay. The PDB, the 2D interaction plot, okay, as well as this session. Our ligand. Or the complex theory. Our ligand. So we can choose to see all the complex of the first. Now we can choose to and compare the complex of the because they are made in the same way. So I'm complex with the let's see. As we can see here, there is a completely different predicted binding mode with negative. There is another completely different binding mode of physosigmine with respect to the negative. We can choose to analyze, compare the other two scoring function, for instance. This is for Nina. So CNN. We can upload to other complex. So this is the physosigmine. Okay. Physosigmine, the multiple doc. And I can see with outdoc. There is no difference between Nina and outdoc. We can see the same for Vina and or for the other binding scoring function. But as we can see, just remove the Nepenthes. The binding mode predicted by Autodoc is really similar to that predicted by Nina. So in this case, we can see that, okay, there is rational to believe that it could be the real binding mode of physostigmine, so that the molecular basis, the less potency of physostigmine with respect to the donepezil are the loss of really important interaction, especially with residues in the entrance of the binding cavity. Let's see, for instance, to open the results of Vina.
Excuse me, can I ask you something? If you zoom out a little bit the structure, there is a pink loop, and it is the loop that you fixed at the
There is a
Pink loop.
pink loop. Is it the loop that you fixed at the beginning? If you zoom out, okay, at the bottom of the structure.
here.
No, I'm sorry, the
Zoom more, zoom out more. No, zoom out.
Was it?
Where
okay, I saw first a pink loop. I'm not seeing that.
Even missing residues, yeah, in the missing residues, you mean? Yeah, it's there, like it's in dash, if you see, yeah, like if you continue, yes.
this one.
Yes.
Oh no, this one are that's not.
It's not referring to the binding site. So I
No, it's
have to take care about.
far from the binding site.
For document.
But in any case, we are considering the protein as rigid, so it has not influence on the binding, and in any case, it is due to the quality of the PDB model. This dashed lines means that there are some residue between here and here that are not solved in the X-ray. So there is are not solved. So there is something missing. So it advises you that okay, in this.
But I am not to fix because it is not.
No, because we otherwise we need to do a homology model.
Okay.
And the doc does not perform a homology model, so it's okay. Complex. It's quite interesting to see that in the case of Vina, the first pose is completely different with respect. This is Vina. Maybe we can settle, and we can do some in the cartoon. It's quite better, I think. So we can see that the binding mode predicted by Vina is really different with respect to Autodoc and Nina. So I would trust, in this case, I would trust that maybe Autodoc and physics-based scoring function are more near to the A predicted, to the convolutional neural network. So this means that maybe we can trust more Autodoc results in this case, but it is not always in this way. So check of your binding mode. Of course, we can compare the other two scoring functions to have a clear demonstration, maybe. Let's try to use, for instance, Finardo. have a good results. And then we can analyze. To the plot interaction, and upload our results. Uh, upload. Before we have okay, almost the same orientation between Tina and Leonardo, but yes, quite different binding mode. Let's compare with Autodoc and Nina. Okay, it seems that Autodoc is the closest one to Nina. So I think it is a very nice demonstration of the molecular basis of the lost in the potency of physostigmine with respect to donepezil. So physostigmine obviously is a short ligand, so we can lose some. It is obviously rational to think that in the case of physostigmine, physostigmine is less potent, but it is not inactive. So it can maintain the interaction with the catalytic active site of the acetylcholinesterase, but the interaction with the anionic, with the entrance of the binding site are lost. So it is maybe most rational to think about the quality of this binding mode with respect to this one, because in this case, they are more near they are closer to the residues to the binding site, to the active site. Okay, so this is quite nice analysis of the NZDoc power, I think. Are there some questions, curiosity? You can download it, open source. You can download and use it. It also performs virtual screening, so you can try with a lot of molecules. Be aware of the number of the molecules, of course, but I think it is a valid starting point to analysis, to perform a docking analysis. So, are there questions? No? Okay. Some of you have tried by yourself. Do you obtain the same results in case? Hmm. Hmm. Huh. Okay, but there are not there are not questions. Sorry. Yes. Okay, so and the tutorial. There are no questions.
Yeah, I have another.
Okay.
I'm probably linking back to the question from the previous lesson, but I would like to know if it is possible to use this software to dock RNA structure. So as far as I know, RNA structure, such as microRNA.
Okay.
And as far as I know, there are software set on protein or amino acid.
Okay.
Yes, if I could use a predicted RNA structure from another tool and then run.
Okay. I will repeat your question to the Zoom online people. So the question was about can we use MZDoc to perform docking with the nucleic acids or RNA? And in that case, if I have an RNA structure, so can I perform homology?
Yeah.
Homology and use the homology model to dock. Okay. The answer to the first question is I've never tried to see if MZDoc works with nucleic acids. You can use it. I don't think it is mentioned in the paper. So obviously we can try. You can try to upload, of course, without both including the PDB code and both to upload your structure. So you of course you can try, and all of those who are interested in nucleic acid can try. As concerned the second questions about homology model for RNA, this is really trivial questions, because in the case of microRNA, messenger RNA, of course, we have a lot of structures. So there are actually, in my experience, when I have to perform a homology model of RNAs, I always compare different web servers. So I think that there are also web servers based on AI. I will suggest MXFold. I think that is based on I think machine learning, but I'm not so sure. But of course, compare your results with other web server. Also, I think that AlphaFold 3 makes a homology model of DNA for sure. I don't know for RNA, but I think so. So the best way is to have a lot of homology model in the case of RNA and validate the structure with maybe molecular dynamics. And once you have obtained your stable structure, you can perform a docking.
We have one online question. How do you make the final goal when the scoring function disagree? is there a workflow
Cannot
for
hear
flow
you.
to select the most biologically plausible flows?
I cannot hear you. So there is echo. So there is. I cannot hear you. I can read the question.
Yeah, it was online question.
Yeah, okay, I can read it.
Did you hear me?
No, because there is echo. So,
Yeah.
there's the repeat, and I cannot understand.
Turn off your microphone. Maybe.
Okay.
Sorry.
I can read. See, if you have the question, right, I can read the question.
Yeah.
Would you turn off your microphone?
Yeah, maybe.
Sorry, this is my first workshop.
Mi sente bro?
Okay. How do you make the final call when? Okay, so this is a very nice question. There is a question of a student that is about how can we say that the final pulse is the most reliable with the biological activity with respect to the other one. The fact is, in this case, of course, we have always to analyze our poses. Okay. In this case, I put there are not experimental structure of physostigmine, of course. I suppose that this could be a more plausible binding mode with respect to the other two, simply because they are quite overlapping. So with respect to the other scoring function, I have a good overlap of these two binding mode. So this is more reliable with respect to the other. So this is the first aspect that we have to consider. Okay, we have with different scoring function a very similar binding mode? Is not simple to have. Of course, we have compared only 4 scoring function, but we can compare more other scoring function. And this is the first analysis that you have to do. So I have overlapping binding mode. The second question is, okay, physostigmine is less potent, but it is not inactive. Okay, so there should be something at the basis of the loss of the potency in physostigmine, but not in the loss of the activity. So I would think that the interaction with the catalytic site, active site residue that are here could be maintained, while there are a loss of interaction with the entrance of the residues of the PAS residues. Okay, so the fact is that two overlapping modes are really close to the residues of the binding site of the catalytic active site. Led me to think that, okay, the activity of acetylcholinesterase is maintained. Okay, it is not so strong as donepezil, but it is maintained because the catalytic activity, the catalytic active site is bounded. Okay, I hope I have answered. Are there other questions from online people?
Even open it, there's like sometimes when you click on the, for example, green, you are screen sharing. Yeah, there's like chat.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't use Zoom so much.
then you can like open it because
okay,
full window.
So this was the answer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, if there are no more questions, I think we can leave it. Okay. I have to stop the Zoom. Stop the Zoom. There's like there, but okay. Zoom. I don't know if I have to stop the Zoom. I don't know if I have to stop the Zoom. Noi andiamo, voglio fare la scorta di caramelle. Mi stanno da noi. Sui terzi. Vabbè, questo non me lo ricordo. Aspetta, col controllo, quello dove è Sandra lo seguito. Insomma, di testa così, mi esplode. Ah, questo è quello di ieri, il foto di ieri, l'altro no, non l'ho mai fatto. No. L'altro, quello di Open MMT. Quello con Ivanova, che era lei. Brava lei, molto carina.
Vediamo.
È un po' simile a dinamica. Sandra Ivanova. Piace. Quello che ti piace.
Ma quello di dopo state parlando? Mi sa sempre meccanica molecolare, cosa cambia delle due?
Sì, non lo so, perché io l'altro non l'ho fatto, è nuovo, non era il primo anno che l'hanno messo.
Io ti chiedo fare quello di là solo perché già stanno i computer e possono programmi loro, solo per quello. Quando metto quello. Ma nessuno alla fine va alla visita. Quindi andiamo a casa e poi ci vediamo per
Sì, devo studiare. Guarda qua abbiamo. A che ora sta l'altro? Alle 4:10, ma c'è il coffee break. No, dalle 3 alle 4, dalle 3 e mezza alle 4:10, Introduction to Molecular Dynamics. Vai.
prima la lezione quello e poi dopo sta la... Che ho visto. È finita, prof, ce l'abbiamo fatta. Comunque oggi tutti i problemi a lei, eh? Tutti i problemi a lei. L'aula non funzionava, di qua quell'altro, quest'altro di...
È stato proprio. Allora,
Sono diverse dalla tua parte.
Ora c'è composto, è rimasta sempre...
Vabbè, bella.
secondo me no, parlata, quindi. No, io
Eliminato Maria.
E scusate, al marco. Vabbè, niente. Io vado a prendere.
La prossima lezione Laura era perché sapeva l'introduzione e poi sempre qua si fa. Allora lascio le cose 3.500. 3.500. Sì.
Partiamo su.
Con un break.
Mm, mm, mm.
Bisogna andare. Come si chiama questa greca? Ah, una specie di quello. Pensavo fosse vegetariano. Stavo un po' morendo, sì.
L'ho detto ieri,
Ah,
perché ho detto che questa guarda. No, ma ci sta la letteretta, introduction to molecolare genetics, cosa ricca, e poi dopo invento, vabbè, cioè oggi serve, cioè devo sì solo che mi serve di bravo, Matrice, poi tra più pratica. La lezione stamattina, quindi che mi è piaciuto un sacco di lavoro. Poi, sì, adesso cosa fare? Ale?
no, dovevano controllare se...
Ah, stavo preparata, posso essere più.
No, non ho capito fanno qua.
Ma giù? Qua, non
Sì. Dopo le porte.
Poi mai.
Lasciami così qua.
Tu rimani qua, io mi dici no, non ho mangiato questa cosa a casa, non ho mangiato. No, no. Quando mi sapete se non passato mi questo.
No, mamma mia.
Ah, va bene, ci vediamo dopo.
Le ragazze invece, le ragazze Giorgia e Giada.
Lo squalo,
Ah, ok.
si chiama
Che?
la nave c'è anch'io.